this Luminosity CT side.
Yeah, Luminosity, especially with Pit, let's call him, finally on the roster in this CEVO season, is an exciting roster to watch, and I feel like probably a top 3 North American team now. So sponsor this. If they manage to take a map or even a win, they will make a huge statement in this game. And wow, look at this, Anger and Flom pushing up into the apartments already aggressively. And they've gathered all this information now. They know there's at least a couple players in the apartment from sponsorship, but we're gonna see, it looks like a very passive play here though. Not taking the bait on the rotate is Luminosity. They have a good feeling that it could be a fake or that there could be a rotation incoming from Sponsorless, possibly through the underpass there. So they're waiting eagerly at the underpass. Peter is waiting there just in case, but the rush is indeed coming out to B, and these flashes and Molotovs coming out everywhere. Anger in a good position though, surprises one from behind, gets another, the bomb planter. Pit meanwhile coming in, getting a kill of his own, and Silent left to defend the bomb by himself. Oh, turns around and Lex just executes him, and that's the end of the round. Anger with 2 very important kills though. Staying undercover there was such a smart move. I mean, you're not expecting 2 guys to be playing up there, so once they get the first guy, you can't really blame them for ignoring Anger.
Definitely, but I'm also a little surprised that they did choose to jump all their guys out of that first window and not even look towards Long or Van. You know, as you said, getting that first pick and kind of, you know, force you to just change the direction you're going and not expect a second one to be so close, but you know, you'd think at least one player would have looked in that direction. Literally, all of them jumped right out that first window, and it was Anger facing the 4th guy in a line, who was like, "Uh-oh, I never even got a chance to peek him, even if I had wanted to."
Exactly.
Because my teammates were running by him. So, yeah, good round by Anger there, and really good support from the rest of his teammates. Really patient play from Luminosity, gathering information and not making you know, too big of a movements around it. Let's see if Anger can go huge again.
Oh, and he does. He gets 2 already with the M4 finally taken down. It's 3-on-3. That is not a bad start to the round for Sponsorless. The rotate is inbound, but the bomb is going to get planted in that smoke. So we're going to see Sponsorless spread out and try to defend this bomb site as much as possible. Ooh, Silent was in a great hiding spot, but Peter was too fast for him, takes him down. Lex gets a kill of his own. Now Ely left to defend, and he's going to get hit from behind if he's not careful. Doesn't even survive long enough for that to happen. And you know what? Sponsorless, I think, is notorious for their ability to turn things around on the eco round. They executed that about as well as they could, but Anger got a couple of key kills at the start yet again, and that enabled the rotate to come in successfully from the rest of Luminosity, getting them the second round. But these are, I mean, these are hairy rounds. They're a little bit nerve-wracking, I think, if you're Luminosity. You don't want to make it as close as this when you're on the CT side and you're the heavily favored team.
Definitely. We're actually going to see Peter buying an AWP right off the bat, wasting no time. Not even waiting till a gun round to pull it out. Not sure if he's going to find a pick with it this round. And as you were saying, I think a 2-for-2 trade at B on an eco take. Not bad right off the bat, but Pit actually being pushed. He's going 1-for-1. But his teammates are there to support.
Wow, just a meat grinder as they step out of the palace. Ely gonna fall as well to Lex. Lex is on fire for his part as well. I mean, granted, they're up against anti-ecos, or sorry, they're up against ecos here, but Lex has been doing a lot of good work with that USP when his M4 runs out of bullets, which is more often than not, considering he's spraying down quite a few members of Sponsorless as they exit these entrances to the bomb sites.
Yeah, now Sponsorless is going to be fully bought up, and it looks like they're going to be already moving the majority of their players over towards A. Interesting to see the speed with which they take the site. We kind of saw on Overpass they were weirdly in between timings. They couldn't quite figure out when they should be taking parts of the maps and when they should be executing their strats. Even a few times could have potentially broken the 16-0 just simply by being more active. But,
Ely taking that underpass push. He's gonna probably be able to catch Peter by surprise here, but wait, no, Luminosity has pushed way into the B apartments. Ely gets a kill, but now he knows that he's been spotted. He knows that they have all this information. They know where Sponsorless is gonna hit, so Sponsorless has to make a move. Anger gets one. That's Ely. He was on that lurk there, but He's going to make his way in as Peter gets a kill onto Mainline, who's trying to make his way into the site. Justin answering back with a kill on Pit. Makes it a 3-on-3, but the bomb site's still under the control of Luminosity as Lex pushes out, gets a kill. Strebber now the last one alive, and he'll fall to anger. Great move in the B apartments there by Luminosity, giving them all that information.
It's actually, it shouldn't be surprising, or as surprising as it was, that the Luminosity players were going to push in the upper B area. It looks like a player did get dropped from the server, so quick pause, remedy that, get him back in here, and we can be underway. But even in the first 3 pistol rounds, they were kind of getting up aggressive in that B apartments. I guess just the sponsorless players assumed that a push wouldn't be that far. Like, yeah, they pushed up and kind of peeked halfway down the hallway to try to see if there's anyone in like the kitchen and on top of the stairs, but you know, they wouldn't have the guts to push all the way.
Exactly.
But they totally
I expect to see a lot more out of that from them. They started off the half with that aggressive apartment push, and I see no reason why they shouldn't continue doing it unless Sponsorless really gets wise to it and starts to play very passively back, even near the TV in the apartments, to really catch them by surprise. That might not be a bad move. But so far, I think the way I see this game going is Peter is going to be the absolute backbone of Luminosity. Playing with that op is so important on the CT side of things. First of all, he needs to get that shot on mid and make it a 5 versus 4 if he can, if they decide to peek mid. And then after that, he's got to be able to rotate over to bomb site A instantaneously if the smokes come out, if they know that the execution is coming. B especially is difficult. At that point, you're probably forced to just go in through the market and stay outside the site, but really just try to pick one off where you can see them. But with the op, you can do especially a lot of damage, though, if you rotate to A, because the whole bomb site is open to you from the jungle. So Peter, I think, is going to be a key, like a linchpin, really, for Luminosity going forward. And he's started off really well, pulling 6-0 so far.
Yeah, he's going to be the first responder, so to speak, at both bomb sites, playing in that middle position. It'll also be interesting to see how he decides to play mid. We've seen him historically, or at least this game historically, picking up the op and hopping to connector, trying to find a connector pick. But earlier in the game, he was more than content to just play from the window itself when they did have a gun advantage. It'll be interesting to see if he displays a preference of one towards the other, or if you can kind of find a blend between them to keep Sponsorless guessing if they can eventually get some ops in their hands and try to take a pick at him. Sponsorless on their gun round chose to go all rifles instead of forcing an op on any one player. They did get 2 bomb plants in the first 3 rounds, so you know, you got to imagine an op was possible. It was just chosen against.
I mean, you got to remember, Peter himself is an extremely strong opper, and I think still considered by many to be one of the strongest in North America.
Definitely.
So you can't say enough about that. A lot of people, you know, he gets some flack from some people. I think it's mostly unwarranted. He's had a bad game here or there, but I think he's overall very good at his job. And we've been waiting on Pitt to rejoin the server. Looks like he had an issue, disconnected briefly, but he is back in and we're ready to go. So round 5 about to begin. Luminosity against Sponsorless in map 1 of this best of 2. Looks like we're going to see an eco round, but a little bit of a light buy here coming out from Sponsorless.
Yeah, they're getting towards the point in the game where they're going to be pocketing a lot of bonus cash, so they are able to buy up these Tech 9s and armor on the vast majority of all their players and still be able to buy in the future. There's almost no reason not to, just to further increase your odds on those ecos. I feel like we've seen some kind of meat grinder rounds, as you described them before, and it only gets worse when you don't have armor, but the B-take is on. Flom now the last man standing in the site before
the flashbang is absolutely
huge. All 4 of them.
From Flom. Totally slows them down. Now they're going to jump down one at a time, and Flom is more than able to pick them off as they jump down. Skeet shooting, really, as the terrorists flop down from the window. Flom now joined by Pitt, who comes in. Peter picking up a kill. Flom, I don't know what was going on there with Silent, but somehow he didn't manage to get the kill on Flom, and whipping around with the 180. Sick shots from Flom. I don't usually say the word sick, but it just seems to flow naturally 180 for some reason.
Yeah, definitely. Flom, it looked like trying to creep through that smoke. I think trying to get around it and potentially get around a planter who was planting, but one of the two remaining terrorists got killed while he was in the middle of it, and he just happened to kind of spiral out of it. It was a weird-looking kill for him, taking down Silent there. But yeah, Peter finding an open pick while the rest of the terrorists are working their way up. Oh no, working up Cad in anger, just punishing them for it. Two terrorists not looking in his direction at all.
Yeah, Anger seems to be everywhere over there on bomb site B. He's always able to catch somebody from Sponsorless by surprise and pick up 1 or 2 frags at the start of the round. And I mean, this round I could tell was already going to go pretty badly when Peter got that kill through the smoke. They were all just kind of rushing through the smoke on Sponsorless' side. With Reckless Abandon, it was a dangerous move, and it looked kind of like an eco round strategy, but this was a full buy for them. They are losing a whole ton of money by losing this round. And they're going to be down 6-2-0, but Ely does get 1 kill before falling finally to Flom.
I think it's pretty important to note that Flom was that final kill. I'm sure, as you guys already know, and as there's been a lot of B action in these past 6 rounds, Flom, a B player, got all the way around T-spawn and flanked the A stairs to get that last kill. So just, you know, kind of to keep note of how the players are moving, and specifically the B players are getting really aggressive and kind of forcing their way around the map wherever they want. I mean, you know, Flom has been able to push up catch frags with Anger like they did as a duo. Anger was able to just push Cat and, you know, with no contest, just pick up 2 frags on players that weren't looking in his direction. It seems like the Sponsorless players have not quite developed an answer for this Luminosity Gaming aggression, but a good mix-up of, like, a healthy mix of when to be aggressive and when not to be.
Strebber now working his way through the underpass, gonna try to catch somebody by surprise there at A connector. It is Pit playing on the stairs, so he could conceivably make his way up there while the rest of the team tries to get a pick somewhere else. Justin trying to get Anger in the apartments, almost falls actually, manages to back his way up, but Flom is actually waiting there to peek as well. Justin is in a dangerous spot there as Strebber finally has made his way into the A connector. He's done so very stealthily, so I think he'll still be an okay spot to surprise somebody on Luminosity if he ever gets the chance. Justin, meanwhile, is making a lot of noise over at B. He's not managed to drive any rotators over there as Lex is still waiting underneath the balcony. Streb finally makes his move and gets a kill onto Pit, who he's surprised, turns around, gets Peter as well. Another kill onto Lex. Streb with that great positioning that I talked about early in the round. It's finally paying dividends, but Flom comes in, stops the bomb plant. Streb with his 4th kill of the round. He's going for the ace. Anger is coming in on a 1 versus 2. Streb's, he probably heard it. He gets the kill with a massive headshot. It's an ace for Streb. Amazing play for him. Rushing all the way down, very slowly though, but just constant movement with that walk all the way into the A connector, catching 2 players by surprise and finishing off the round for his team.
Great round there, as you just described, and with that, Sponsorless has the opportunity to start to string together rounds, and we're also actually going to be seeing an op on Silent. Let's see if he can get this pick on Peter, who still most definitely has an op. There's actually a lot of CT aggression in mid. Perfect to combat the CT aggression, rather. It looks like the CTs are going to come out on top here.
Yeah, that's one of those things you can... I mean, yeah, that's one of those things you really can only do once or twice, at least in any short period of time. So it was a good idea for Luminosity to pull that out here, because this is a round that was really important for them to win. They're very low on money, and they know that if Sponsorless loses this one, they've now reset their loser bonus, and so they're hurting very much on the money side. They're not going to be able to buy next round. Luminosity, meanwhile, has managed to save all their guns so far, unless Streb can get a couple kills here. So this was just exactly what Luminosity needed. It's one of those surprise strategies that usually works at least once, as long as you're able to execute it okay, and you want to pull it out when you really need it most.
Definitely. I think this was actually a good time to use it. I feel like a lot of teams, so you tend to see it as like a desperate eco attempt. You just want to get up in the faces of potentially an offer and put some Tech 9s in his face, or a P250 or something like that, just to You know, just to cause some chaos early on, it seems to be a good way to win eco rounds. But when you do it with a gun in your hand and you can just take huge map control right off the bat and get frags, it's a good way to ensure that the other team is not going to string together any rounds. And that's not like a strategy you expect from a team that you know isn't going to be saving. Like, there was no surprise that Luminosity was going to have guns that round, but it was definitely, I'm sure, a surprise that they were running straight up mid.
Yeah, Anger especially, though, has been able to do that both at B and then as well on Cat, and then now last round on mid. He just somehow is able to be everywhere on the map and surprise Sponsorless every time he makes an aggressive move like that. He usually gets at least 1 kill, and that round he got 3. So being able to give your team that advantage early on in the round is absolutely just a great skill to have, and Anger has it.
Definitely. It looks like we're going to be gearing up for an A take here, as all 5 terrorists are cheating in that direction, and even when they were in freeze time, all of them waiting patiently with their knives out, ready to go A, and just like that, they're hopping right in. Lex able to get some frags, but it's a 2 for 2 overall. Let's see if the rotating members can remedy the situation. Peter doing a good job.
Yeah, Peter with a great kill, but he did get dinked, so he's forced back. He's going to have to play this round carefully now. But Mainline and Ely, the last 2 players left alive, Ely gets 1, but he falls. Mainline gets another, so Flom now against Mainline in a 1 versus 1 situation. This round could go either way, but it goes Flom's way. His 2nd kill of the round, and it's an important one. Flom finishing things off for his team. Looks like Pitt having some connectivity issues yet again, so we're going to see another slight pause coming out from them. But man, they are so lucky that Flom was able to close out that round for them. Very close eco round for Sponsorless, but again, they're on to another eco. I mean, I call them ecos, but Sponsorless very rarely has a real eco. I mean, they like to at least give themselves a chance at winning a round. So so rather than do a full eco and be able to do a half-decent buy the next round, it seems like usually they favor doing a light buy, even if it means they have to do 2 in a row before they get that full buy going in the 3rd.
Yeah, and I really think the concept of the eco is kind of dead or nearly dead in the state of Counter-Strike right now. I mean, I remember back in Source, when you said you were ecoing, you were ecoing. Like, you had to save all your money to make sure, you know, you could you could buy when you needed to, because you know, there was I guess like in Source, like if you had a deagle in your hands, there's no telling how the round's gonna go. But for the most part, winning those eco rounds was just so tough that you would rather just maximize your cash and maybe just buy a pistol, which could or could not be effective, so you don't feel totally you know, you're harmless to the other team. But yeah, in this game, a quote-unquote eco means a Tech 9, you know, a pistol, some kind of upgraded pistol if you're feeling armor, and then you need some supplementary nades on top of that, and teams can pretty easily kind of write those off as their eco rounds. And looks like Sponsor was going right for that A site again. Pitt actually getting beat there.
Alien Strep getting kills, but Peter has actually been forced to the stairs, and he is holding down that position quite well. That fire is going to force him down yet again, so he's stuck there in the corner, but he's going to receive some quick backup from the 2 remaining players on his team, Anger and Flom, as Flom pushes right into the bomb site. He's going to take the guy sandwich, go for the next guy who's playing on Tetris, and he's hungrily searching for the last one. But it's Streb, and he refuses to go down. Gets 1. Oh, so close to killing Anger. 9 HP, what's separating the round win for Streber and his team from the win for Luminosity. I mean, if he had managed to take down Anger there, he should have had no problem with that final kill onto the bomb diffuser, and that could have very easily gone to Sponsorless's way.
Definitely, and that was actually back-to-back solid ecos from Sponsorless, doing a good job of taking the guns out of the Luminosity players' hands, and that time getting the bomb plant necessary just to give them the extra pocket cash that they need. Pitt dropping from the game. It's like yep, so it looks like it is going to be a 4-on-5 for Sponsorless. Not what Luminosity Gaming is looking for, but definitely something that they can battle back out of. We're going to see Silent picking up another AWP and trying to find really anyone he could shoot at, patiently waiting in apartments. Seems like the Sponsorless players have completely shifted their focus away from the B bomb site and are now all in on A. Lax about to just run into a bunch of crosshairs. Got a ton of information for his team, and it's going to let, if Flom pushes up, like this, he could be in a great spot to pick up a bunch of frags. There's the bomb. There's a second one, and he will escape.
There you have it. Perfectly played for Flom. Doesn't manage to get Streb, though, and Streb evens it out to 2-on-2. Pith actually dropped from the game yet again. Those connectivity issues continue to plague him, and that could be a game changer here, but no, Peter getting a kill nonetheless. And Anger coming in from CT finishes things off. 10-1 now, the score for Luminosity. While this may be a CT-sided map, if Sponsorless doesn't turn things around basically right now, then, I mean, it's going to be a really tough comeback for them.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
again,
Go ahead.
I was just going to mention Pitt did end up falling from the match yet again, but they did get to pause the match this time before going forward. I don't know what's going on with his connectivity, but I mean, this could be rough for Luminosity. So far, it hasn't phased them because the remaining players have really been able to pick up the slack.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems like some of the sponsorless players not quite getting the start they're looking for. Silent, who's typically a really solid fragger for the team, starting off at 0-10. Does have an assist on the board to his name, so it's not like he's doing absolutely no damage. But got to imagine they could use that extra oomph from their fifth man there. It's those. I mean, 1 or 2 frags, as we said, could have made the difference between a few of these rounds. And so having a player frag to really their highest potential is important at all times. The sponsorless can come away with 2 more of these last few rounds. Then I would say that that's not terrible by any stretch. I mean, 12-3 is not any scoreline that I want to battle back from, but I feel like 12-3 is it's like the doable scoreline. If if you have a really good pistol round and then you just start to play lights out with rifles in your hands, like that is a totally surmountable comeback.
Yeah, 12-3 is really the minimum you're looking for on T side. Looks like, I mean, yeah, they're having some issues with his computer. Peter has just confirmed on the stream. So I hope Pitt can get that sorted out, because I was really looking forward to seeing what Sponsorless can do against Luminosity. So far, it hasn't been much, frankly. And I'm a bit surprised, even on the pistol buys, which traditionally I think Sponsorless has been very strong on. It's been one of the staples of their gameplay is being able to win on pistols, and if not, turn things around on an eco. They did it during Cloud9, against Cloud9 during that first map. Yeah, Cash. And that was partly why they were able to win that map. But so far, they've had no luck in this map with that. And the reason is right there at the bottom of your scoreboard. Silent with 0 kills so far in this game. Silent is usually their best pistoler. So I'm very surprised he hasn't managed to get any frags, given all the pistol rounds that they've been forced onto.
Definitely. And also considering how many favorable situations that they've been in.
Yeah.
A bunch of rounds at B, where with pistols in their hands, they were able to take the bomb site. Even as I said, they did the double save a few rounds ago after coming off the round win, round loss, vicious combo where they had, they worked, I think Streber from CT worked one down to like a 1-on-2 where the bomb got planted, and before that it was a 1-on-1 that mainline lost simply because he was getting aim punched by Flom. He didn't have the armor to really do anything about it. So yeah, there's been plenty of opportunity for Silent to step up, but also it means that if he does step up, and he's capable of it, we could see this lead shrink sooner rather than later. But between coming off that last map that did not go well for them, and starting off really slowly with an 0-10 scoreline, you got to imagine his mental game cannot possibly be all there. You have to, if that doesn't make you at least a little bit shook, you're probably not human, or you're Shroud.
Exactly.
But Shroud wouldn't be in that position.
All right, guys. So, I mean, we're still waiting on Pitt, who appears to be having now more serious computer issues, or maybe he's trying a more long-term solution to fix them. So I guess we'll take a short break, and we'll make sure to come right back the moment we see any action come out from Luminosity or see Pitt return. So just sit tight and remember that we are as frustrated as you are.
Whenever you're calling, baby, you know I turn around. Whatever is calling, baby, you know I turn around. Baby, you know I turn around. Go to sleep. Open my eyes. Not one sound. Whatever is calling, baby, you know I turn around. Baby, you know I turn around.
This EP has really allowed me to push the limits of what I can create musically. I've had to prioritize a lot more than I used to. Certain projects carry more weight than others. It's really all about efficiently finishing them. It gets tough sometimes, but I've found a way to balance things out and create new material consistently. Other than my internal need to create, my driving force is just keeping the momentum going. I feel like I've accomplished some cool things in the past year or so, and I don't want to slow down anytime soon.
I see this storm come rolling in, but you don't know me like you say you do. Will I run and find myself, or will I bite the dust and stay with you? You can help me breathe, but only if I let you. I wanna let you in, but easily forget you. Try to settle down and try to worry less, 'cause when we face the eye, I hold you in my chest. just lost my friend so close to me. They say find happiness and faith. What the hell is that supposed to mean to me? And everything is gray, nothing is in color. Believe me when I say I'm not like any other. I try to settle down and try to get some rest. You lay with open eyes, head against my chest. All my life I've been so cold. I break the hourglass and watch time unfold. And I try to make it back in this raging sea, 'cause I'm way too deep. All my life I've been so cold. I break the hourglass and watch time unfold. And I try to make it back in this raging sea, 'cause I'm way too deep. 'Cause I'm way too All my life I've been so cold. I break the hourglass and watch time unfold. And I try to make it back in this raging sea, 'cause I'm way too deep. 'Cause I'm way too deep.
The support from the Monstercat community has been overwhelming thus far, and I'm so thankful, so thank you. I do take the time to read what people are saying, what they like, what they don't like. In the end, I always end up just doing me, but to see how much my music is impacting people around the world is truly inspirational. I hope that each and every one of you take the time to sit down and listen to my EP in full and experience it the way I envisioned. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Monstercat podcast. And remember, we can always be friends. So reach out to me on social networks, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about the EP.
Enjoy the silence in the rain, when all my troubles wash away. still my pain and have me live to another day. Enjoy the silence in the rain.
The Swede has returned later.
Yes, he's back. Back in the server.
Got my Swedish national anthem out of the way, and we're ready to get back down to the game here. Pitt looks like he's finally resolved his computer issues. Fingers crossed that he doesn't have any more.
I
And
mean, he's on a different PC even.
yeah, it looks like it. And whoa, look at this. Sponsor this making a big push, but Pitt starts things off for his team with the early kill. He's going to fall to Justin. Ely getting one for himself on Lex. He's the last one left, though, and he's just made his way out of the bomb site that he worked so hard to take. And down he goes. So only 2 members of Luminosity falling in that one. They have every advantage going into these last few rounds of the half.
Yeah, definitely. I'm also just curious as to how that break is going to affect really both teams here. Sponsorless, yet to really get any concrete traction going. Yeah, they've been close to winning rounds, especially actually even on their eco rounds. But the kind of the thing they had going for them is they had a few rounds in a row where at least they were challenging Luminosity. That round definitely one that we would throw in the meat blender column or grinder column rather. Oh wow, good Fawn pushing all the way up. Oh, and he gets punished. 2 guys looking right for him. See, that's kind of the aggression that you said wouldn't work so many times in a row. And now Pitt, in a great spot, actually gets the second one by accident.
Oh man, I didn't even notice until you pointed that out. What a great pickup for Pitt. You do not want to line up like that. What a misstep for Silent, and what a shame too, because Pitt just picked that up by accident, like you pointed out. So giving them the advantage there, Luminosity, 4 on 3. But only 2 members of Luminosity are over at bomb site B, and another one is now going to be drawn to the rotate over to A. Ely's doing a great job with this fake here. Pitt actually falls to him. Unbelievable. So it's going to be Anger holding down bomb site B. We're going to see Ely actually make his way through A and trying to join the rest of his team, who's going to be executing on B. Only 30 seconds left. Peter finally on the rotate.
To bring the bomb back towards A, that's a great move. I was going to say, Justin throwing that nade seemed like a huge mistake if they were going to go towards B, but quickly swinging that bomb underpass was absolutely the right play there.
Yeah, and wow, the smoke perfectly timed as well. Saving that smoke till that last moment was a brilliant stroke by Sponsorless. They're in a good position here to defend this bomb site. 3 guys, and they could really be anywhere. Luminosity's going to have to check so many places so fast. Anger is going to lead the way here. Can't find a target. Gonna fake the bomb, so he knows Ely is there. I think he might have caught Strebber there. If not, he's got a good feeling that he's there. And whoa, Peter getting 1, but it's just not going to be enough. They are everywhere. That was perfect positioning by Sponsorless. They had so much time to set up, and they showed how deadly it can be when you're in a situation like that.
Yeah, and they are going to come away with, I think, an AWP and an AK for their trouble there, so saving a little bit of cash, and will allow Justin to hold on to a bunch of cash, potentially dropping some guns in the future as we wind down this half. We kind of called for a sponsorless win out a little bit ago. They kind of took it, they decided they wanted to take round 12 off before they started the win out, but It looks like this is their opportunity to get things going with that opening pick and Luminosity Gaming on an eco of their own. It looks like they might be able to string together rounds for, yeah, the first time in this game. I mean, they've only won 2 rounds and were pretty separated. Now Silent actually getting pressured by Pit, and oh, he's going to drop that off.
What an excellent flashbang by Pit up in the Palace, completely blinding Silent there. We were talking about flashbangs and the changes that they received in CSGO while we had that long break there, and we were talking about how important it is to learn these pop flashes like Pit clearly has mastered there. It was just a brilliant flash. There was no time for Silent to turn away, and he made good use of it. Pit picking up another with that op that he managed to get from Silent. Anger is now holding down the catwalk from in that ladder room, and there's great position here out from Luminosity. It's going to be a tough round here for Sponsorless if they don't move fast. There's only 30 seconds left. They did get that frag on Anger. That's going to enable them to move into the window where they'll probably hit B from, along with Justin, who's waiting there in the B apartments. There isn't a whole lot of time left, and you do have a rotate coming in from middle at the very least. The bomb is actually in the underpass. That is not a spot you want it to be in. He doesn't have a whole lot of time to get that bomb planted. It looks like he is going to make it there just in time. But this round was a lot closer than it should have been, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely a decent eco for Luminosity. Coming away with that off is going to be pretty important. It looks like they are not going to even be in a position where they can challenge him or take it out of his hands. He should be able to comfortably save that and drop it to, I'm sure, Peter the next round.
Yeah.
Get a pick in mid for it. That is, yeah, kind of, I guess this round just got worked down a lot longer than I thought it would be. I thought Sponsorless would be able to just, off the A aggression, swing their way towards B a little more quickly. But, you know, either way, they did get it done eventually. Looks like Pit might be trying to push Pit,
yeah,
but he's not going to get there fast enough.
Oh, you know what? He's going.
Yeah, there's for that second, we weren't sure. Kind of halfway up the ladder. Teased us with it. But yeah, Pit is going to get away with the off, so you should be able to throw it to Peter and get an M4 in return, and that is exactly what happened.
So you've got a real ugly buy coming out from Luminosity, but Peter is, once more, I think a lot of this round is going to rely on the way Peter is able to play with that op. He's got a full contingent of nades on his side as well, and that could make a huge difference also. So far, we've got Peter facing off against Silent at middle. Each of them with their ops trained on each other. They just don't know it yet. It's through the smoke. Ooh, Peter taking a shot, but somehow barely missing. I think he was slightly on the move there. Yeah, exactly. But both teams being very careful here. Sponsorless has all the momentum on their favor. Again, that flash coming out from Pit, using it very effectively as mainline forced to turn away. Pit getting the kill as a consequence. And he's taking full control of Palace. Whoa, Flom almost died in that fire. Brought to 23 health, and he dies to that grenade. Man, I don't even think he got to see an opponent there. Really well done with those nades, as usual, for Sponsorless. Evens out the round. Now 4-on-4, but they've got to make a move eventually. They're leaving this to the last second yet again.
Yeah, it's actually something we saw them do a bunch of times, and really on their round wins. They had that round before where Ely had the bomb so far away, and they were barely able to sneak it in with time remaining. Last round, something pretty similar, but Pit was just so far away that he couldn't have contested had he wanted to. But now that the B take is on, and things seem to be going pretty well for Luminosity as they get one, make that two. Sorry, they being Sponsorless getting the 1 and 2, and now being worked on to a 2-on-1. Got so excited there, I kind of lost track of who was fragging who.
Yeah, Silent now going to fall as well to Anger, stomping around, making all kinds of noise, making himself a relatively easy kill. So they got the 3 that we talked about as a basic minimum to win on this map. It's a very CT-sided map. Or can be. I should say, not always. I mean, it's just historically been a CT-sided map. But sometimes it can actually go the other way. So we may actually see, theoretically, Luminosity win this 16-3 if they win the pistol round. Yeah, but Sponsorless can still turn this around as well.
Definitely. It's a CT-sided map, but you can't ask for a more even round than pistol. It's a coin toss, 50-50 seemingly. I mean, obviously, the teams are an important factor in that. But in terms of just the equipment that both teams can have, it's never going to be more fair. And you know, when the your ability to shoot from a really far range is cut down significantly. It makes the positional advantage of the CTs inherently get slightly less valuable than when they have a rifle in their hands. So Luminosity, I could see them totally picking up a pistol round here and using that to cruise their way to victory. But if Sponsorless can make a hold and start to make Luminosity Gaming kind of work for their rounds,
yep,
we'll be able to see them, maybe not make the full comeback, but definitely grind this out a little bit.
I mean, I don't know what's happened to Silent over there on Sponsorless, but he is usually a very effective opper, and especially pistoler. He hasn't been doing either this game. He's only got 2 kills, and he actually managed to pick up an op a couple rounds. So, that's where he really feels at home, but he still wasn't able to do much with it. He needs to turn things around, and he needs to do it right now on this pistol round if he can. But it's going to be 2 players, looks like, defending A only, unless we get a quick rotate in. And here comes the execution. Smoke's coming out, going to completely block off the A connector side and leave Streber to defend himself. 1 versus 2. Flom getting 1. Pitt getting 1. That's Streber around that corner. Very low health, a lot of these terrorist players, though, as Silent finally pushes his way in. Peter gets him quite easily, and Pitt with a good headshot on Ely, cleaning off the round on mainline as well. 3 kills for Pitt. The funny thing about Pitt is he was having those connectivity issues. He was 2 and 9, and I was going to comment on it, but then I realized, well, that's because his computer is trash, apparently. Fixed his computer, now 11 and 9. So he's got a massive turnaround here, 9 straight kills to his credit, and all of a sudden his team is just dominating. It can't be a coincidence that it just so happens that Pitt gets a computer and his team is rolling.
True, and also that round from Luminosity was a much faster engagement than Sponsorless themselves were throwing out on their own terrorist side. I mean, even their pistol round, they grouped up towards B, if I'm remembering correctly, and still slowed things down, kind of waited to try to find picks spread out a little bit before eventually executing. That was kind of the opposite of how Luminosity took it. They grouped up outside of A, threw their nades, and they went on it. But Streber and Justin teaming up to get a frag apiece. Looks like they might be able to make a potential eco out of this one, but they are going to fall back away from where Anger had the bomb.
Yeah, but the map control is, it all belongs to Sponsorless, who they have a couple players here playing at mid. Mainline is playing pushed up on the cat. Pitt with a nice flashbang through the smoke. That's going to enable him to take control of A connector and get the kill on Streb. They now control A-Con, and they're going to make their way into A, but Mainline getting Peter from behind. Pitt now taken to very low health, 9 HP. Gonna force Ely back, though. He doesn't want to take that engagement. He knows Pitt is deadly with that AK-47, and they don't control the bomb site yet. Meanwhile, Justin is waiting there in a great position to surprise the remaining 2 players of Luminosity and win the round for Sponsorless.
So there is the eco round that you wanted Sponsorless to be able to produce for a really long time. Seems like it might, I mean, I don't know. At this point in the game, it might be too little too late, but if they could really start to turn this into some momentum, maybe it came at just the right time. But, admittedly, they do only have so much of a cushion left, so they better really capitalize on it because this is a huge opportunity for them. This round, Luminosity Gaming pretty much all actually not even pretty much, just all grouped up, upper B, getting ready, I'm sure, to execute on B. Mainline is holding with silenced M4 and his teammate down below on Cat also with a silenced M4. That's only 40 bullets in between them. Probably not going to make a huge difference because those M4s are really strong, but either way, they could overwhelm one or both of them.
Yeah, good on Luminosity for waiting out these smokes. I think Sponsorless might have used them a little early. Obviously, they know that at best this is a forced buy coming out from Luminosity, but they've got to be ready for it because here it comes. Anger leading the way as usual, and Mainline can't land his shots. He goes down. It's going to come down to Silent, and he doesn't manage to get a kill either. He does get one onto Lex, but I don't know if it's going to be enough as the rest of his team rotates in. There's only 2 left. Anger gets one, and Pitt gets another. And just like that, bingo, bango, bongo, things turn right back around, and Luminosity takes another round for themselves. Unless Stretch, no, 2 great kills, but just too many opponents in that bomb site.
And Luminosity working their way back into it with a huge eco round. They're back-to-back eco rounds no less, as Luminosity is now one step closer to winning this game. That has to be a really frustrating round for Sponsorless, and you know, Justin has 3,900 on him, so he may be able to make a buy. Well, I mean, they're not going to have a choice if they lose this round, whether they make a buy or not. They're going to have to go for it regardless, but at least some of their players have some semblance of cash to really make a last buy happen. Oh man, a Silent. If he was able to get that frag, could have opened things up right for his team. It looks like this A execute is just inevitable.
Anger spotted him out just barely. Streb now smoked off yet again. Luminosity's doing a great job on their executions of landing those smokes exactly where they need to be. That's something you need to practice a little bit. Once you get it down, you can do that every single round and it works so effectively. Oh, nice couple of deagle kills from Streb. But once again, it's just not going to be enough. Taking a couple guns is not what Sponsorless needs to do. They need these round wins.
Yeah, and actually, take a look at the scoreboard. Strebber has 21 kills, whereas his next closest teammate is 8 behind him with 13. Strebber is actually top fragging for the entire game, despite the huge scoreline difference between the two teams. It seems like he's pretty much always good for 2. Or 1. It really depends on the circumstance, but I feel like whenever Strebber is in any position, he's almost always good for a pick, a frag, even if it's, you know, too little, too late. At least he's creating opportunities for himself.
Yep. He's been playing really well all night, even against Cloud9 earlier. Strebber made all the difference, especially in that map on cash that they took against Cloud9. So it's good to see that he's continued his momentum going into this match against Luminosity, but some of the other members of his team, man, I mean, it seems like they've really dropped the ball here. They're going to have to refocus and really get their ground going into the second map. Silent, nice kill through the smoke on Lex. I don't know how he spotted him there. I think there must have been a hole through the smoke, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe just a lucky spray. Brings it to 4-on-4, and only 2 members of Sponsorless defending A.
Yeah, Justin's in kind of a cheeky position there right around the corner, but with Pit actually checking that close right corner, I would not be surprised if he's checking this one as well. Hopefully this pop flash can bail him out.
Oh, huge, but Pit gets him nonetheless completely blind. What a shame for Justin, because that was a perfectly landed flash, but Pit, so experienced, he's able to land those shots even completely blinded. Down goes Streb. Now Silent left to retake the bomb site with Mainline. Pit going to be defending against both. Gets a bomb planted, but Mainline is very close. Pit misses the spray down, and a round finally going to Sponsorless. Can they turn things around and tie this up 15-15? I don't know. I think at this point, they have lost. So if you count the Cloud9 game that we watched earlier before this one, they've lost what now? 31 of the last 36 rounds that they've played. So that, I mean, that can't feel good. It has to wear on you. I'm sure some of these guys are very tired. You know, you got to wonder what's going on in their team speak right now. Hopefully they're able to cheer each other up, get back into things.
Yeah, not to mention that there was also a fairly lengthy delay while it was sorting out his computer situation, actually just straight up replacing his computer. We're actually going to see Sponsor was kind of taking a page out of Luminosity's book. You're getting super aggressive in mid, but Lex is going to get punished. Peter seems to have at least some idea that something's going on in there. Doesn't really want to challenge it. He's going to go in the other direction.
Yuli's going to fall with that jumping scout. Anger gets one at mid as well, and that's the game, folks. Sponsorless falling 16-5 to Luminosity. Now, okay, so Sponsorless did very well against Cloud9 in map 1. They surprised everybody, even though they were the heavy underdogs going into that matchup. As a result, I had high hopes for them going into this match against Luminosity. Luminosity, once more, is the heavy favorite. I don't know. Maybe that was maybe it was misplaced confidence. Maybe Cloud9 was just playing uncharacteristically bad during that first map on Cash. We'll have to see. Was it a fluke? Was it a one-hit wonder by Sponsorless, or can they do a repeat performance here against Luminosity on the second map, Inferno?
I mean, it seems it's seeming increasingly more likely that that first map was a fluke, but not a fluke in the sense that like Cloud9, like okay, fluke is just not the right word. I'm gonna scratch that completely. Not gonna call it a fluke one bit. It was Sponsorless playing really well, just for a one concerted effort where they played consistently well over the entire T side of Cash, and they just had the timings and the reads down on Cloud Nine.
Yeah,
they just made the right decision like 100% of the time. They were seemingly always making the right decisions, and then we're pairing that with some pretty slick aim to beat some good shooters on that Cloud9 team. And I think the fluke wasn't the game so much as it was their ability to effectively predict and and beat Cloud9 mentally, not the physical game. I feel like all of these teams, they have their smokes, their flashes down, their pop flashes. They can all shoot decently well. The kicker at that point just has to be the mental game.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think maybe that 16-0 against Cloud9 might have wore on them a little more than we would hope, because now they've lost this one decisively, and of course that was their map pick as well. So going into Inferno, Luminosity's got to be pretty confident it is their map pick. They're going to be at their peak form, presumably. They've got a good history, a strong history on Inferno, and definitely Sponsorless has their work cut out for them here, and they're looking for a sponsor. Let's face it, guys, they're trying to make a name for themselves right now. They need to catch some attention. They took a map on Cloud9. It is going to be so important to be able to get one here, especially because we kept talking about it earlier. Tie games are worth 1 point. Winning a game, which is taking both maps, is only worth 2 points. So getting that tie is actually, it's very important. It keeps you into the league. It gives you a good chance of getting into the playoffs and playing against the best in the world. So Sponsorless has every incentive to turn things around and win this one.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want to turn it around and win this game? Sure. And on top of that, this is Luminosity's map pick, so Sponsorless is going to have the ability to choose their side.
And they'll be on CT, obviously.
Yeah, I was going to say, it is a relatively easy decision for them to make. As I say that sound locks it in. So they are going to be starting CT side first. Got to imagine they're feeling slightly more comfortable there. Even on Mirage, there were definitely improvements on their CT side over their Terrorist side. CT side really wasn't great, all things considered. I mean, it didn't last for too long. They weren't able to hold on to whatever round pad they had, and they actually even got ecoed in the process. So, which is I don't know. I guess like kind of being ecoed by Luminosity Gaming, there's much more shameful things. I feel
sure,
like.
Absolutely. I mean, they can use knives only and just wipe the floor with us, I think, later.
If I lost, honestly, if I got a gun and I was in a program and they all use knives and I lost, I would probably stop playing Counter-Strike. Like, how do you rebound from that?
You just don't. You go into casting, and that's why we're here.
Exactly. That's actually what happened. It was a horrible experience for me.
Now, it's worth noting, guys, for those of you who don't know,